It's like my phone just went off for dumbness, right? But yeah, what I was saying, I don't know where I got cut off speaking, but guys like Bezos, they don't sweat for work, man. They don't have to work hard, all right? But everybody else has to bust their ass, but they don't earn nowhere near what they're worth or the equivalent of what they produce for the company. They don't, all right? Um, so the figures out today once again emphasize the huge growth in how the work of most people is valued compared to a small number of feted executives, said the think tank's interim director Andrew Spick. The idea that executives as a class are individually contributing over 100 times more in value than the workers that they rely on is simply not credible. Oh, hell no. How can my man at the top be working 100 times harder or bringing 100 times more value to the company? Without the workers, they wouldn't be making nothing. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he's the guy with the ideas. Okay, well, try and do that with no workers, or the amount of workers you need. And this is the thing. This is why this world is so fucking corrupt, right? And so anti-human, right? It's like you're actively trying to get rid of people, right? You're actively trying to get rid of people. Right, replacing them with AIs and robots and all these different types of things, right? Because you don't want to pay them, right? Because you want all the money to yourself. That's how greedy these fuckers are. It's just greed. Greed runs this world, man, and the economy, right? They don't care about people, man. All right. Let's see. It says bolder reform beyond the government's recently passed Employment Rights Act is needed. Mr. Speak said, calling for governance reform, including democratic worker representation on all major company boards. We are also calling for companies that pay executive sums to their highest earners to be taxed more, right? With the proceeds investing in education. Like, these men don't actually help the economy. I said they take so much fucking money out of it. They don't invest in these things, right? It doesn't go back into the system, right, to help build shit that these countries desperately need, man. Because these people, these governments got no fucking money, man. It's all being siphoned out. So it's helping to tackle deep-rooted inequalities and improve social mobility, he added, right? So that's how these 1%ers live, man. It's just crazy. They're earning crazy money, right? And everybody else is suffering. And like I said, no one's doing nothing to help the poor and to boost their standards, right? But they're the ones constantly being gotten. Every time, a new parliament comes in, or they're doing a budget, right? It's always the poor that has to pay the most, right? They lose out the most, right? So let's grab some scriptures, man. I've got another article I want to quickly touch on as well concerning Trump, right? But this is Psalm 73, verse 5. Let me read up. Verse 3. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked, right? Because these men, hey, to be up there in the 1%, yeah, you got to be doing a whole lot of wickedness. Like I said, that woman from that betting place, right? When she got 280 million, that's not right. She knows she exploiting people, man. Right? She exploiting, man, and she earning so much fucking money is crazy. Is she gonna give is she gonna play a part in raising the social standard right in the area? Probably not. Oh, but I gifted the charity. Yeah, some shady shit. Always some shady shit. When it's just money's given off to a charity, it's just some shady shit, man. A way to avoid fucking certain taxes or whatever. You don't really care about helping nobody. Anyway, this is for there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. Right? They stay strong, man. The rich stay rich and get richer. Right? The poor get poorer. So if you're in the category of the poor, you're just a working class person, you're gonna get poorer. Guaranteed you're gonna get poorer. Right? You ain't gonna get richer. Right? Unless you somehow break out of that, which usually means you probably have to sell out or some shit, right? You're gonna get poorer. Right? These men, their strength stays firm. It don't go down. Even in the baddest of times, the rich get richer. During the pandemic, they got richer. Every day they get richer. It don't seem to fucking matter what's going on in the planet. Nothing's affecting them because they're always able to make money. You know? It says they are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Right? They're not concerned. They're not worried about certain things, or most things they're not worried about. You know, even if the company doesn't make as much money this year, it's like, what, you got so much fucking money anyway. So what if you didn't make the last 100 million? You still earn another 100 million though. You're still 100 million up. You know, but yeah, but it's a bad year. We didn't get the 200 million. Man sulking some shit. You know, but it's unfucking real. It's unreal, man. You know, they're not in trouble as other men, right? Neither are they plagued like other men. Therefore, pride can pass them about as a chain, violence cover them as a garment. Their eyes stand out with fatness, they have more than heart could wish. Right? They got damn near everything, and yet they still got this ambition to make more. But at what point do you say it's enough? You know? Like if let's say that woman that got 280 million, right? Let's say that was her first 280 million. Right? Let's say next year she's about to make another 280 million. Do you need the other 280 million? Like, really? Did you really need it? Like, I would have fucking retired long time ago. You know, if that just fell on my plate, like, yeah, as a bonus or whatever it was that she earned that much. I would just fucking, I wouldn't work no more. What the fuck for? But anyway, that's just me. But if you earn another 280 million, what's the incentive to earn that 280 million? What is it that you actually want or need when you've already got 280 million? Like, surely, you know, there'd be more satisfaction in using that for something else or someone else. But of course, you know, all that world up there, that 1% world, that money is all for the mechanisms of wickedness, right? It funds wickedness. You know, all this money funds wickedness. All right. But you'd think that these people have some sort of moral, you know, compass, right? That, you know, they'll be at, you know, changing the world and shit. But that's not how things go. All these rich people don't actually do fuck all. Right? Wickedness increases on the earth, and poverty and inequality increases. How? Is these men were, you know, philanthropists and so fucking generous as they make themselves out to be, so selfless, right? All these fucking Rothschilds, we're philanthropists. You know, they got all this money, but the world's not in any better state. It's worse. More people are suffering. How is that? These elites have so much wealth, right? And so much power and resources, bro. They could make everything good, but they don't, because that's not the plan. That's not the goal, right? That's why it says, therefore pride can pass them about as a chain, and violence cover them as a garment. They're here to do wickedness, man. Right? That's why the scripture speaks about these are the wicked that prosper in the world. These men don't have the right moral compass to benefit others, only to benefit themselves and the agenda. You know? So they are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily, right? So yeah, I just wanted to end on the verse 7 reading. So the eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than heart could wish. Right? You got more than enough, but it's never enough for you because you're insatiable. All right. It's Sirach chapter 13. And let's see. Verse 18, right? It says, what agreement is there between the hyena and the dog? And what peace between the rich and the poor? As the wild ass is the lion's prey in the wilderness, so the rich eat up the poor. Right? The rich prey on the poor. They exploit the poor because the poor are desperate. Right? And they don't have empathy. Or sympathy for that matter. They don't care. Right? They know they're living beyond what they really need to be. And yet there's so much, so much poverty, you know, around them, and they don't seem to care. They rather just move out where it can't be seen, so they can, you know, ignore it. Right? But the elites are even worse than that. It's not even that they want to ignore it. They actually want to see it. Right? They won't live around you, but they'll want to see it. They'll see it. As soon as they turn on the TV, they get kicks off the fact that, these men are getting shafted all day long, right? Them charity adverts with the kids and the flies in their face and shit, man. They get kicks out of that. How they're depriving the earth. They get kicks off it, man. Because they're just wicked. These men are only just wicked, man. Right. So as the proud hate humility, so doth the rich abhor the poor. They despise the poor. Right. I'm gonna jump down to verse 24 here. Riches are good unto him that have no sin. Right. Yeah. Because you could consider that a blessing. Yeah, you got money because if you get money because you're righteous, then that's fine. But the truth is, in this world, right, for you to be rich, there's a whole, you got to be on a different type of vibration, man, a different wavelength to be rich. You got to be in that wavelength of the wicked, right? That spirit of the wicked you got to be in to be rich in this world, right? To be like these guys here earning mad money, right? Because you got to kind of throw your ethics out the window if you got any. You know what I'm saying? Let's see, quick. All right, so that's what I want. This is Proverbs 10 verse 15. This is the rich man's wealth is his strong city, right? And that's how they keep control and power, right? They keep all the wealth. They're not trying to share it, right? They're not trying to share it with people. The destruction of the poor is their poverty, right? So if you keep a man down, look, man, these men are fruit. They ain't gonna do nothing. They can't do anything. And that's the whole point. Esau's trying to put people in such a position where they become wholly dependent on the system, right? Because they got no power, they got no wealth, they got no defense, right? Because money is a defense. Scripture tells you, right? But they ain't got no defense. The defense is thin, right? That's why these men always, the poor always complaining, that they're suffering. Taxes upon taxes, everything's expensive. You got people who's queuing out of food banks and shit. People can't afford their rent or mortgage. Can't afford to travel. Got to fucking travel to go to work. But getting buses and trains or owning a car is expensive. You need money, right? Clothes, fucking everything expensive, man. Training is expensive. So people are struggling. But these men are living lavish, like beyond what they need to be, right? This is Proverbs 22, verse 16. He that oppresses the poor to increase his riches, and he that giveth to the rich shall surely come to want. Right? So, at the end, this whole place is going to collapse. Right? And all these people, that they're at the top there, the 1%, these elites, only the elites, right? That are exploiting these people, the poor, and causing people to be poor, man, they're going to be poor themselves. Right? They're most likely going to bring them down. Right? Esau's going to come, down into the pits. He ain't gonna know what it's like to be rich or wealthy anymore. This is James chapter 2, verse 6. But ye have despised the poor. Do not rich men oppress you? Is that not the truth? Right? Even these government leaders, these labor parties, right? These people that are meant to be for the working class people, right? They're all rich. They've all got wealth beyond you, right? They're all making crazy money. Man, go to a fucking like a seminar. He'll do some talking for half an hour, if that, right? And earn like $500,000 just because people wanted to listen to them talk. They got hired to go talk somewhere, and they went and talked for like 15, 30 minutes, and they got $500,000 for it. Where the fuck can you go and do that? How can the average person do that? Right? These people that rule over us are rich, and therefore they can't be trusted. Right? They haven't got your best interest at heart. Right? They're trying to please too many other people because they're in the rich boy club. You know, they're in the rich boy club. And you ain't. Right? So yeah, but you have despised the poor. Do not rich men oppress you and draw you before the judgment seats? Right? They're the ones that make you pay all these fucking fines and, you know, because all these fines only affect people that are poor. It's us that cry about getting a £60 fine. You better pay up in 14 days, or it's 120. Or it's 140 now. You know, it's us that cry about shit like that, man, because it's like, fuck, man, it fucks us up. You know what I mean? It really fucks our day up, man. You know, if a rich man got that same fine, he would like, fuck him. He'll either pay it or ignore it. He don't, you know, don't really fucking matter. Like it isn't a problem. If Starmer got the £60, you know, £70 for parking on double yellows, he would not fucking care. Right? These things are to tax the poor, the common person. All this congestion charge and you know, vehicle tax, EV tax now because you bought that fucking dumb shit. You know, all these charges, it doesn't affect the rich. Right? They can absorb that. That's fine. Right? But the poor, that's painful, man. It's painful. And that actually reminds me of something else. How did that go? Oh damn. I really want to get it. Shit. Let's see if I can put something together. Here, cry. I'm not even sure where it'd be. Basically, what I'm trying to look for is something along the lines of the righteous cry, right? It should be heard of the Lord. When some wrongdoing has been done to him. I'm trying to think, man. That will be heard and not the other person. Oh, what's this? He says something in the card for. Oh, okay. That sounds something like I was thinking about. Let's check this out. Proverbs 21 verse 13. Whoso stoppeth his ears at the cry of the poor, he also shall cry himself, but shall not be heard. Right? That's not the one I was thinking about, but you know, that's pretty good, right? They see the poor and hear the poor crying for the injustice that's happening, right? And the pain that they suffer through. Right? But these men, they fan their hand at it, ultimately. Right, at the same time pretend that they care. You know? You're not actually doing anything really. Right? But these men are gonna want when the Most High brings them down, they're gonna want help. Anyway. Let's get back to it, right? So it's Haggai chapter 1 verse 6. It says, ye have so much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put it into a bag of holes, right? And that's what it's like when you are a common worker, right? When you're just working on a job, right? You get paid, where you get paid weekly or monthly, which you really supposed to get paid at the end of the day when your work's finished, right? But you have to wait. We're made to wait for our wages. Right, but before we even receive our wages, Esau takes all these cuts, man, and so you don't get you don't get what you make, right? And Esau decide, every different year how much he's going to take from you, kind of thing. He can change it any time. He'll increase this tax or increase this thing or decrease this thing, and it's like, well, it's my money you're fucking with. But he'll tell you that, oh, we need it for the country to fix fucking hospitals and shit, right? But like I said, it's always the poor that suffer from these changes. Right, and top of that, you know, the finding the hell at them for, you know, most of the time misdemeanors. It's a small little thing, which I was happy today because I got an email back today, right? Because I parked at a shopping at a supermarket at like 1 o'clock in the morning or whatever it was, right? Because it was the only place that was open, right? And I got a parking fine saying I was parked outside of parking hours. I'm like, what the fuck, man? But the thing's open. Like, what do you mean? And I, you know, got the email today saying that they cancelled the fine. I'm like, man, that's a rarity, man. It's a rarity you ever win an appeal. Right, so Kahala Yaba Shemi Shai for that, man. Like, damn, man. £60, £70 lost for what? What, because I went to the supermarket, man, that was open. Like, I mean, it's crazy sometimes, man. He's sort of just trying to take all kinds of money from you all the damn fucking time. Like 60 quid small money. 60 quid's not small money, man. You know, not to a poor person or a working person. It's not small. You know? Well, yeah, it's small change to these fucking 1%ers, bro. You know what I'm saying? Put it on their tab. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'd be like. That's what I'd be doing. If I was like this mega rich dude, man, I got all this fucking money and like I'm just like I'll just pay everybody's tab, man. Fuck it. You know what I mean? If he was really righteous. You know, anytime you get a parking fine, yeah, my man, he'll just pay it. Just send it to his account. He don't mind. He's good for it. He's got the money. You know, just send it on man's tab. There's a couple of or at least one that I'm aware of. I think it's an actor where he went around and he bought some bad debt, right, of people, or of these companies, right, that you know was trying to get money out of these families or whatever, and he paid it off. You know, them type of things is rare, but that's real shit. You know, that's real charity work right there, right? Not all these fucking Oxfam shit. Like no one knows where the fucking money goes, and that's what I wanted to research into, man. How much money these organizations actually make or receive, right? And how much has actually been spent on what they're supposed to be spending on. I'll be interested. So I might do a little search later. You know, but yeah, back in here though, right? It says yeah, you know, we earn money and it just disappears, man, for one method or another. Shit is expensive, taxes are going up, inflation, you name it. You know, it's diminished. It's diminished. All right. This is Baruch chapter 3, verse 8. It says, behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, right, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse and to be subject to payments. Right, according to all the iniquities of our fathers which departed from the Lord our God. Right, so we're subject to payments. You know, and so we're always being oppressed and always being kept down. Right, and none of these governments ever changed that. None of these rich people changed that. Right, like I said, they're all meant to be helping. Right, you know, all these philanthropists and shit. No one ever changes that. What we always do see though is the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer. We always see this. It's not, nothing's changed. You know, nothing's changed, man. All right, and there was another article quickly that I wanted to mention before. It's fucking hilarious. Right, so Trump, you know, let me just read it. Right, so breaking. Right, President Trump says he has determined that the U.S. military budget should be increased to 1.5 trillion in 2027 due to tremendous tariff revenue. I thought that revenue was for the people. All this money saving was to help the American people, right, feel richer. He told them you're gonna be richer than you've ever been, right? You're gonna feel so rich, right? Americans are getting fucking fucked over, man. They're getting shafted royally, man. The lives of the American people is not getting any better. It's just getting worse still, right? And this guy, he's taking 500 billion that he supposedly earned from this tariff shit, right? And adding it to the fucking military. He's not. What about the people? Like they need help, but you've been taking people off fucking of benefit systems. You've been taking people off. You didn't want to the whole shutdown. Like what the fuck? And it's like yeah, we've made all this money now, and I'm gonna throw it into the military. And so that's what if this is true, this is what it's been about. It's just to find more military operations or build your military up, right? So yeah, it's going to be increased to 1.5 trillion in next year, right? This would be a near 70% increase from 2025 levels, right? So he's posed here, right? It says, after long and difficult negotiations with senators, congressmen, secretaries, and other political representatives, I have determined that for the good of our country, right? Here's the patriot in you, right? You got to back it. You got to back it, right? Especially in these very troubled and dangerous times. Oh, 'cause it's so dangerous now. Why? Why is it dangerous? What's happened? No, Israel's at war with everybody in the Middle East. They're in a dangerous situation. What's happening in America? Oh, we got drug cartels. Okay, you went and just invaded Venezuela. What are you talking about? These dangerous times. Why are Americans in danger? Come on, man. He's trying to convince you that everything's fucked up, and it is fucked up, right? And yeah, there is wars going on, right? But none of them actually directly involve America right now. Or the American military, which is telling you something, right? That they plan to be involved in a war, which is gonna put you in a dangerous time, a dangerous situation, right? This is especially in these very troubled and dangerous times, our military budget for the year 2027 should not be $1 trillion, but rather $1.5 trillion. Right, this will allow us to build the dream military, whatever, that we have long been entitled to. Entitled, yeah, because America, innit? Entitled to everything. Right, you already had the fucking largest military, the most expensive military on the earth, right? But you're entitled to an even bigger one. All right, okay. This will allow us to build the dream military that we have long been entitled to, and more importantly, that will keep us safe and secure. Safe and secure from what? What are you doing that is warranting this extra spending that you need to keep it safe from? We need to keep America safe. What the fuck are you doing? Right? Regardless of foe, right? If it weren't for the tremendous numbers being produced by the terrorists from other countries, many of which in the past have ripped off the United States at levels never seen before, all this talk, right? I would stay at $1 trillion, the $1 trillion number, right? Because the United States is getting ripped off. The American public is getting ripped off. That's what they're doing, right? That's how people are getting ripped off right now, as American people, right? With this bullshit, right? But because of tariffs and the tremendous income they bring, amounts being generated that would have been unthinkable in the past, especially just 1 year ago during the sleepy Joe Biden administration. The man's still talking about Joe. Bro, is he even still alive? Why are you still talking about the dude? We're still cursing them out. The worst president in the history of a country. This guy's got to throw shade all the time, isn't it? We are able to easily hit the $1.5 trillion number. Easily, right? So he'll make it sound like this is not even going to be a burden on American people at all. Like that you people are still going to experience all this growth and all this prosperity that I promised you. And I'm going to increase the military budget by $500 billion. That's not going to happen. Right? You American people are definitely going to suffer. Not easily, right? You ain't doing it easily. Easily hit the $1.5 trillion number while at the same time producing an unparalleled military force. I thought you already were an unparalleled military force. And having the ability to, at the same time, pay down debt and likewise pay a substantial dividend to moderate income patriots within our country. All right. So yeah, he's gonna pay the military more, personnel more. He's still pay down debt. Bro, you're in infinite debt, bro. You might as well be in infinite debt. You ain't never paying it off. Right? You might as well just throw the whole thing on it. It wouldn't have made no difference anyway. right? But notice it's not. He ain't talking about the average American. None of this is going to benefit the average American, right? It's going to benefit these military companies, right? It's going to benefit these military personnel, right? And that's about it. The banks, as usual. But it ain't benefit nobody else, right? And he doesn't mention nobody else. All this money that he's making from these tariff, he's getting from these tariffs or whatever, ain't going to you. Ain't going to you, man. But you was made to believe that he was doing all this all for you. America first. Oh, apparently America needs a stronger army to fight more foreign wars. Apparently, like I said, what's America been doing? Why does he need all this extra money for? And if the only reason is that they're fucking with everybody else, that there's a war coming, right? That they need to spend more money for, Um, I'm gonna get Psalms 55 and verse 21, right? Because like I said Trump and all these other governments, his leaders, right? They've all duped you into believing that they're about the people, all right? And they promise a whole bunch of stuff to you, right? But when and if money comes their way or whatever, right? Then it's not for you, man. The rich are feeding the rich. The money stays up at the top, right? This 500 billion is to be believed that exists or whatever, right? It ain't going to you. You poor people are going to stay poor. Okay, you're not going to be any better off, right? They just tax the shit out of you to feed their own endeavors, which is always the case, right? So yeah, it's Psalm 55 verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words are softer than oil, yet they were drawn swords, right? And like I said, he came in saying he's gonna, do this all for the American people, the average workers, they're all frustrated and broke ass. And he's gonna make America great again and rich again and all this bullshit, right? But where's this money going? Into war. It's exactly like this, Yeah, we talk about the American people and not getting involved in he originally, when he first came in the first time, I think he said, he didn't plan on being the world police, but look what he's doing, and so he hasn't embittered nobody's life in America, right? But you all voted him in because that's what he thought he was going to do, because that's what he said he was going to do, right? But it's bullshit. Like every politician, it's all fucking bullshit, right? They're all fucking rich, and they're gonna stay rich, and they're gonna share their money with their boys that are at the top, right? And you all get crumbs, nothing's essentially, right? Nothing that really changes your life in any meaningful way, and it stays like this, you know. So it leads me to this, right? Ecclesiastes chapter 12 verse 10. Never trust thine enemy. Don't trust a word of these damn devils, right? They are not for people, right? They're only for themselves, right? They're not here to make the world a better place or make life easier for you. Any of these things that, supposedly, these quality of life changes, you want to call it that, right? The ability to do certain things in an easier, faster way, right? It was never really to benefit you. It's to benefit companies. The industrialization of things. Yeah, on a global scale, yeah, everyone can get this, and so much goods can be produced and go global, worldwide, sell shit, right? Great, but who really benefited from that? Like, we got so much clothes don't even fucking need, right? But these companies are making so much money. They really benefit from it. All these inventions, all these things that are brought about is making them more money than it is anybody else. It's benefiting them more than anybody. Like this AI, who's that going to benefit? Ain't going to benefit the common person, I'll tell you that. Yeah, some people can use it, they can make some money, and that the few people, yeah, sure. Right? But most people are going to be displaced by AI and not be able to work. But again, that's what they want. You know? So never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rust, if so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou had wiped the looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not all been together wiped away. Right? Because he's still a predator. He still preys on the weak. He still preys on the poor. Right? And he'll beguile you to make you believe he's on your side. He's trying to help you. Right? But he's not trying to help you. Right? Verse 12, set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beasts? So one that goeth to a sinner and is defiled with him in his sins, who will pity? Right? We keep telling you about this devil, man, but people don't seem to want to listen. They still have hope that this devil can do something good for a change. But can a leopard change his spots? That's what I want to know. For a while he will abide with thee, but if thou begin to fall, he will not tarry. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, right? Talk them smooth words, them buttery words, right? But in his heart he imagined had to throw thee into a pit, right? To overthrow you, to take advantage of you, to exploit you, right? To put you in a shitty situation. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first, and though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. He will shake his head and clap his hands, and whisper much, and change his countenance. Right? He will reveal to yourself when you're in a position, of weakness, or where he's over you. He will change his countenance. And that's basically what these devils. That's what they do, man. They beguile you. They tell you that they're here for you, and they're gonna do this for you. We're gonna bridge the gap between the rich and the poor. We're gonna make you richer, and make you feel like, they ain't broke no more, right? But it's all lies. The men are lying all the damn time, right? All the damn time, And like I said, there's just articles like this that show you, man, that these men are about the rich. The world is run and ruled by the rich, and so wealth stays with the rich. These men ain't trying to distribute it down, right? And they ain't trying to distribute it, But yeah, that's enough anyway. I'm done. So, Lord, when this is edifying, and I'll catch you brothers and sisters on the next video. Until next time, I say shalom.